Hello, hello, my fellow weirdos. Ashley here once again to talk about essential oils. Today we're going to be talking about the emotional aromatherapy blend Forgive. So Forgive has a bit more of like I guess you could say a musty, woodsy smell. Some people like it, some people don't. Personally, I don't really like it unless I actually need it. Then it has a softer smell to it. It's a strange thing about the emotional oils is the smell actually can change depending on what you're feeling that day. So one day Forgive can smell amazing to me and the next it just smells awful. So the words on the wheel for Forgive, so he is right down here at the bottom, is grieving, sad, ashamed, angry, bitter, and discontented. So this one is very personal to me at this present point in my life because I had to bury my mom. She lost her battle to cancer, and her funeral was literally a week before everything shut down and we all went into like quarantine and stuff. So I had to go through the grieving process of having to say goodbye to her as well as everybody else as we're all going into quarantine. And it was really hard. And as you notice, quite a few of the words I said actually match the grieving process, including grieving itself. I also felt angry and bitter. A family member came over before she died and did some things that made me very, very, very angry. I won't go into detail on what happened, but thanks to the quarantine, we were forced to stay away from each other, which was probably the best thing for us, is to be away from each other at this point in time. So there were many days right after she passed where I would think about that incident and I would just get so angry. Like, I could feel myself, like, head to toe. Like, it felt like my temperature was rising. I felt like I was those cartoon characters with the steam coming out of their ears and stuff. And it was just awful. And I wasn't quite sure how to manage this emotion very well, because I've never felt anger that intense before. So I remember talking to the Lord and just going, hey, I know this is part of the grieving process, but I'm going to need some help. And because I know I have to feel this emotion in order to get through this, but I don't want to lose myself to it. And I got the inspiration sort of as a reminder that, hey, you have these emotional oils. So I started using them. And of course, Forgive called out to me a lot. So I was using it really often, putting it on, diffusing it wherever I was. I put it on my bracelet with my little lava beads that we've talked about so much. And it was like I wouldn't say my anger magically went away, but the smell of it helped me be able to calm down enough to process the emotion, get through it, and to eventually forgive him for what he did. And a huge thing that I think about when I think of forgiveness is healing. The whole point of forgiving is to heal. It's a lot of times it's, to make amends with your friends, heal that friendship and stuff, but sometimes you have a relationship that is abusive. Someone that likes to hurt you over and over again. And a lot of times society sort of tells us that if you forgive, that means you have to go back to that person, start that cycle over and over again. And that's not the case. That is far from the truth. You can forgive and walk away. And that is the most powerful thing you can do to heal from an abusive relationship or of any kind, whether it's romantic, family, friendship, like whatever, you can forgive and walk away. And the reason I say to forgive them, it's very difficult to do. I know, I've been there. It's difficult. It's very hard. But if you can forgive that person for what they did and just leave it all in the past and just move on with your life, then that person doesn't have control over you. If you hold on to that pain and that anger, then that person still is controlling you. That person is still abusing you, whether you see them in your daily life or not. Whether they're actually present there, they're still controlling you if you're holding on to that anger. So it's very important that we forgive and we let go and just walk away from that kind of situation. It is okay to do that. So this week is a lot more emotional than the other ones. I think the last 3 are going to be this way for me because the last 3 of the kid actually helped me quite a lot through the grieving process. So there's a lot to talk about. But that is the end of my tangent on forgive, if I can get it positioned right. So join me next week as we talk about the next one on the wheel, which is, this is going to be fun. It's going to be console, my other buddy through the grieving process. I bounce between forgive, console, and peace a lot. So join me next week. Hopefully next week will be shorter. This one went a little longer than I expected. But in the meantime, keep being your awesomely weird selves. And yeah, bye.